Major deal with 40 countries, Turkey is redrawing the global arms landscape. Massive investments in the defense industry over the past 20 years have made Turkey one of the world's largest military suppliers. By offering budget-friendly, fast delivery, and flexible technologies to approximately 40 countries, Ankara is dominating the global UAV market. International defense architecture and military logistics networks are undergoing a radical transformation driven by Turkey's domestic industrial initiatives. According to a comprehensive analysis of trade data by Reuters, one of the world's leading news agencies, Turkey, NATO member that was once entirely dependent on foreign arms monopolies, has become a game-changing actor on the global stage thanks to its planned investments in this strategic sector over the past 2 decades. In this critical juncture, as Western bloc armies are being structurally rearmed and new regional security alliances are being formed, Ankara has risen to become the primary military supplier for approximately 40 countries, offering defense concepts that are significantly cheaper, faster in delivery, and easily adaptable to operational needs compared to other global alternatives. Turkey's extensive product portfolio, which includes unmanned aerial vehicles, domestically produced fighter jets, ballistic air defense systems, tactical armored vehicles, smart munitions, frigates, and even aircraft carriers, has either entered mass production or completed its R&D processes, in the wake of the Russia-Ukraine war that erupted in 2022. As European governments began to thoroughly question their military dependencies, Washington's unilateral security guarantees also became a subject of international debate. Amid this global climate of uncertainty, many NATO countries began to view Turkey not only as a geographical military stronghold on the alliance's southeastern flank, but also as a potential industrial partner capable of producing high-tech equipment. Ankara, which is preparing to host all NATO leaders including U.S. President Donald Trump next month, aims to expand its vision for joint production by overcoming bureaucratic hurdles in Western markets and political resistance within the European Union (EU) faced by Turkish defense companies. A striking rise in trade deterrent perspective. Analyses conducted by Reuters using civilian and military trade data reveal that Turkish defense exports have more than tripled since 2021, largely due to the corridor opened by high-end armed and manned aerial vehicles UAVs actively used by the Ukrainian military. According to strategic financial data, Turkey's defense industry exports have reached a historic milestone of $10 billion annually as of the end of 2025. This massive volume accounts for approximately 3.7% of Turkey's total national export revenues on its own. While it is noteworthy that military sales to European and U.S. markets nearly quadrupled to $5.6 billion between 2021 and 2025, approximately 65% of all armed and manned aerial vehicles currently in operational use worldwide are directly supplied by Turkish engineering. Indonesia, one of Southeast Asia's military powerhouses, officially announced last year that it would incorporate 48 Turkish fighter jets currently in the development phase into its fleet, a move widely regarded as one of the most concrete indicators of this global growth. The Turkish defense industry's presidency has more than doubled the number of R&D projects it funds over the past 5 years, bringing the total to over 1,400. Yildirim Han ballistic missile and sectoral risks. International military analysts emphasize that uninterrupted government support, flexible supply chain management, and the ability to update software according to the specific tactical needs of client nations on the ground are what set Turkish defense companies apart. Ankara, which is rapidly entering regions where major Western manufacturers have lost market share due to insufficient capacity or cumbersome bureaucratic procurement cycles, plans to double its arms export figures over the next 2 years. Deterrent technologies such as the Yildirim Han intercontinental ballistic missile, whose mock-up was unveiled to the world in recent weeks, are seen as the driving force behind this growth. Jan Kasapaklu, a senior military researcher at the Hudson Institute, stated in his assessment of the matter that the Turkish defense industry has made a major doctrinal leap, particularly in the field of unmanned systems, noting that modern conflict zones in Ukraine have proven that wars depend not only on the latest technology, but also on the sustainable production capacity of industrial infrastructure. Kasapoglu emphasized that Turkey has successfully passed this sustainability test. However, analysts warn that Turkey, caught in the middle of the Ukraine crisis in the north and Iran-centered regional tensions in the southeast, must urgently address its shortcomings in air defense, domestic aircraft engines, and tank battalions through technology transfer agreements. Key agenda items at the July 7 to 8 NATO summit. According to information obtained from Turkish diplomatic sources, domestic defense industry capabilities will be the top priority on the agenda at the historic NATO summit to be hosted by Ankara on July 7 to 8, 2026. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte also confirmed that the summit's agenda will host the alliance's most comprehensive defense industry forum to date. The intense pressure the U.S. has been exerting on its European allies to increase defense spending, along with plans to withdraw thousands of American troops from Germany, is creating new areas of cooperation for Turkey, the alliance's second-largest military power. Defense Minister Yazar Güler, who took a clear stance on the issue last April, called on European partners to abandon unilateral security mechanisms that exclude non-EU NATO allies like Turkey. He strongly emphasized that these discriminatory policies could cause far greater structural damage than the reduction of the U.S. military presence in Europe. Political obstacles and smart partnerships in the European market. Turkey continues to be largely excluded from the European Union's Security Action Plan for Europe funds and joint defense procurement programs. While some European governments have avoided establishing military partnerships with Ankara due to chronic political disagreements, Turkish companies have managed to sign critical equipment supply contracts with Poland, Spain, Portugal, and Romania. Most recently, Turkish defense giant Baykar's acquisition of Italian aerospace company Piaggio Aerospace and the establishment of a strategic production partnership with the Leonardo Group demonstrate that Europe's embargo barriers can be overcome through commercial ingenuity. According to data from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute (SIPRI), military spending in Europe has seen a dramatic 75% increase over the past 5-year period leading up to 2025, while global military spending grew by 24% during the same period. Military strategist Arda Mevletoğlu noted that Europe needs urgent and practical solutions, stating that if political will is demonstrated, there are no technical obstacles remaining to Turkey-Europe military cooperation. Former Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu, meanwhile, describes this dynamic process as the phase in which Turkey is successfully repositioning and adapting its defense strategy toward both the European continent and the NATO alliance in line with new global realities.